Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Obituary, a TV series from Hulu about a woman who writes obituaries and then starts killing people. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 13. Sorry. Almost said 12. Available at Amazon.com. Yada, yada, yada. Anyhow, this woman works at a newspaper in the UK, I think. Although it feels a little bit more like Ireland, but maybe it's on the coast. Anyhow, she lives in a small town. It's about 5,000 people. And she decides, her boss basically tells her, you're going to get a pay cut. The paper's dying. She can't really live. He said, well, unless the deaths start going up, I mean, that's all I can pay you, right? I guess she gets paid by the obituary. So then, of course, she's pushed into murder. So it's not a bad pitch, although I kind of don't like that setup. But I think it would have been a better setup to make her a murderer first and then decide that she had to do the murders more locally. Like, she's always been killing people, but she did it like far away and she'd come back from vacation. But now that her job's on the line, she sort of changes gears. Rather than like, oh, she's just a normal woman. She has to kill people. So this is a series. Realistically, I don't see it lasting. You're talking about a town of 5,000. You're going to start murdering people and people aren't going to notice. I mean, people will notice. She's got to make them all look like accidents. And she does, I assume. And so for a season, I think this could work. You know, it's got like kind of a Dexter vibe to it. She's also in love with another guy at the newspaper, but he's not interested in her. So I assume he ends up killing her rival. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Of course, to make a series like this work, and you can make a series like this work, you have to make the killer sympathetic. And since killers aren't sympathetic, the only thing to do is to make her victims very unsympathetic, right? Either they were already about to die, you know, they're terminally ill and they want to die and they can't do it, or something like that. Or more likely, they're just terrible people, right? They're cheating, they're racist, they do all these horrible things. And then you're okay with it from a viewer standpoint, because it's like, well, that guy kind of deserved it, because the bar is a lot lower when you're watching a fictional series, right? You're not really passing judgment on somebody who actually died. You're just passing judgment on a character. So in movie terms or TV terms, the bar is kind of lower. Like, as long as you're a jerk, yeah, you deserve to die in this world. I don't think you could sustain that very long, because eventually they're going to have to do what Dexter did, right? They're going to introduce another killer, and that killer, well, he can kill too, but you know, at first their code aligns, but then later you realize, well, he's just a psychopath and she has to kill him, and then that's very justified. And then they did it again in Dexter with Jimmy Smith, right? He learns a secret and he joins them and killing criminals, and then but later Dexter's like, he keeps breaking the code too, and he has to kill him. So, you know, it's a kind of similar setup, only smaller, which I like. But the problem with it on a long scale is, how do you sustain it, right? So in order to pitch this thing, she's got to kill somebody in the first episode, right? Or orchestrate a death. But she has to orchestrate it in such a way. She barely had anything to do with it. Maybe she just, you know, put a seed in someone's head who's on the verge of killing themselves, and they do it. Something like that. Because the moment you ramp it up till she's hunting down people and like choosing her victims, like, you kind of can't stop. You kind of can't go back to an episode, well, oh, nobody gets killed this episode. You can't. That would be going backwards in the series. So, there's not. So I don't see this as a long lasting show. I think it would, by the second season, the you've probably heightened it to the point where it becomes incredibly unrealistic that she killed so many people and keeps getting away with it. So, you're going to have to do the thing again. They did it on Dexter where he frames somebody and then probably kills them. Probably kills them too. She's in love with this guy. That's never going to work, right? He's eventually going to find out she killed a bunch of people, and then it's going to be, him or her, right? He's not her, unless they reveal that, and that would be weird. So, it's kind of a good pitch, but it's not meant to be. Maybe you could have done this as a movie. As a movie, sure, because then you could ramp it up to 1,000 by the end of the movie. She's just killing everybody in the town, and then you can make it a comedy. The tone is not quite a comedy, kind of. I mean, it could be. You could make it very funny, and then you'd probably have more legs with this. But if you're trying to make this serious, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. By the 5th or 6th victim, it's like, how is nobody finding her? They find murderers. You kill one person, they'll find you eventually. You kill 5 people in the same town with only 5,000 people in it? Oh my God. It'll be nearly impossible. Nearly impossible. So, from a writer standpoint, it's a very challenging subject. I just don't think it could work. For a season, it might be fun, though. If you made it comedic. It's looking kind of serious. I think you need to make it more funny. But that's just me. Let's read up. 24-year-old Elvira Clancy adores her job writing obituaries, but lately she's been feeling unfulfilled. And when her newspaper falls on hard times, her boss tells her he's unable to keep her on the payroll. Overnight, she finds herself being paid per obituary. Okay, that makes sense. So when she accidentally kills a rude person in the town, she discovers she might have some untapped bloodlust. She relishes using ever more crafty methods to kill off the town's unpleasant residents, all while making them look like accidents. Unfortunately, a wrench lands in the works. The newspaper hires a suspicious new crime correspondent with a penchant for conspiracy theories. Worst part, Elvira really, really likes him. Obituary is streaming November 21st on Hulu. Yeah, that makes it even more of a one-season show. If you go 2 seasons with this, you're insane. It's never going to work. The ending of this is she's caught and goes to prison, or she's never caught and kills that dude, or that he joins her in murdering people. But again, it's so unrealistic. If you had done it again as a comedy, like a really funny comedy, it could be a lot of fun. I think it would have been better as a movie, but that's just me. Would I watch it? If I had Hulu, I might check out the first few episodes. I couldn't see myself going past the first season. I might make it to, if it was really good, I might make it to the full season, but it's strange credulity. Is that the word? Credulity, doggy. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more based takes. If you can find a more based take, I say take it, Little Joan. I'll be at the Crosswicks Library today at 7 p.m. for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. And then tomorrow, I'll be at the Wingate in Medford. That event is only for residents and their guests. You have to either live there or know someone who live there and brings you to the event. Otherwise, I'll see you, in the next one.